but it will be a momentous task for the overseas All Boys to compete with the Asia Pacific Dragons. You've seen the Dragons earlier today, Robin. Are they in awesome form?
Yes, there will be a side to be reckoned with, that's for sure, in the next couple of, or tomorrow, I should say, in the cup competition. Yeah, I think they're going to be a tough task for the Old Boys to get a result here.
I would ask the referee about the colours of both shirts. I don't think I've seen.
Good point there, actually. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen such a clash as that ever. But anyway, the slightly, well, yeah, I was going to say the slightly brighter red. It's more the pink against the red, and that is a charge up the centre there for the Old Boys by Hamish Patterson. And number 13 is Scott Deasy, an Irishman, who's played on a number of occasions for the overseas All Boys. And coming back is Labalaba, the Fijian, playing in the fullback sweeper role. Excellent delivery out of a sticky spot there. And the big figure of Valao, another Fijian, and a big punch up the centre there by the Dragons. Number 5 is the tall figure of Isaac Ross, a former New Zealand international. And it's going to be
penalty for holding
Nacional Labalaba. I'm having a bit of a problem with that one. But he's a fine player and has represented Fiji.
So it's a line out now. Yeah, line out now for the Asian Pacific Bar Dragons.
So Meacham, the throw in, and a bit of confusion there, and a knock on, and a bit of a scrappy start by the Dragons so far. One or two errors, and that will be a scrum. That's Valentine Meacham, the hooker. Number 3 is Malachi Valao. And I'm guessing that Hamia Ahiho is on the other side of that scrum. So the Old Boys scrum struggling, but it was quick delivery. And it's moved through the hands there.
That's a big hit going through.
Big for Clendon Penny. Very visible figure with the...
I would have to question that little move there. I think came straight through the gate. But the other boys had taken the opposition away too far. So that was an unlucky call there, but as I say, the referee's got his decision to make, and so be that. So they're slowing the game down, the Asia Pacific Dragons. They're playing the kick to touch, and maybe there's a reason. Obviously, there's some big boys there, and they're playing a slightly 15 aside style. Would not be surprised if
probably been a long day.
There's a drive
for these guys. There we go. Off the back, and adventurous, and a burst there, and a fantastic try, and that is Cardiff Vega, who is with the Hurricanes, who burst his way through there. Great line.
Taking a flat ball there from off the top.
And Penny could but pull his shirt, but a fine try, as you say, a good line, and the Asia Pacific Dragons open the scoring. And it will be Natumi Fasita wearing the 10 shirt. And from close in, he missed that one, I believe. So there he is. A little red-faced there, Fasita, after missing the conversion from very close in. Deep, and forcing the overseas All Boys to work from inside the 22. clearance there by Dernham. And there's Facita, big tall man with a step. Nenny, the ball offloaded nicely. Burst through the centre there. And it's Nakwali. The 9 is Tagakabao. And big, powerful push up the centre. Tagakabao gets it out. Facita. And there goes a big driving figure of Lokatui, the Tongan. Oh, and that's gone forward. It's a poor piece of handling there on that occasion.
Pass went behind, and unfortunately from the scrum half, which puts a bit of pressure on the player coming onto that ball at pace.
The scrum half there is Vuga Tagakabao, who has appeared with the Asia Pacific Dragons on a number of occasions. A name you don't forget.
And the APD boys are tending to take the ball straight up the middle. Actually, they're not. They're playing a one-out game, not what we've been seeing today, which has been spreading out wide. They've been just taking it quite direct to hit that game line. So obviously they've got the big boys to do it. Let's see if it works for them.
So again, the scrum pretty messy for the overseas old boys. And trying to exit. Adam Jones. Oof. Throwing at his kneecaps, and it really was a tough one for Lewis Hazelhurst, the South African, to catch that one. Although an offside. And the kick. Again, number 13 is Scott Deasy. Although on the team sheets, listed as a flanker, so I'm beginning to wonder if that's an accurate team list. There's a possibility that I'm going to have to work that one out for tomorrow. So
that
good line out.
That was taken off the top, actually.
And there's Greg Foe, a Samoan, punching down the centre. Slip hinders Lokatui, the Tongan. It's a good recycle there by Joni Manu, who's now playing in the scrum half position. And that was Isaac Ross managing almost to walk around a tackle on that occasion. A big figure. I
think the offload, I think you were right about the shirts earlier. I think he thought there was he had a man outside, and he did, but it was someone else in a different or similar colour shirt opposition.
It would not surprise with the flash of the flash out the side of the eye that you could end up passing to the wrong team on this occasion. So we have Laba trying to take that out from the back. We'll grubber through, and it's a straight chase. There's not a sweeper there. And nice little pick and offload. Again, finding a lovely line, and the big Kiwi, Isaac Ross, almost ran himself off the back of the pitch, but a fine score. And some good continuity by the Asia Pacific Dragons. Good hands.
Yep, a nice line on the way through, hitting that channel straight down. One pass out from that little semi-ruck, not quite a ruck form, but.
And the former New Zealand international scores a fairly comfortable try in the end. Kicker now is Nasanel Laba, and he certainly made a better job there than his colleague. Facita missed from in front of the posts. So we have 12 points to 0, and this game very much moving the way that we would expect it. Power from the Asia Pacific Dragons.
That was a good take there.
This is a really nice run there, and a good offload. There's a bit of feistiness now. 16 coming in there.
Should be a penalty there with it. The ruck was formed and hands went in. So
Manu there, making the burst. And I think it's Paul Durnham we're probably looking at for the kicker. It's a good touch finder, bit of territory, and
so Russell, what do you think of the change for the old boys? What do you think they should be doing now?
Well, at this point, the last play of the first half,
or generally in their game, or what do you think the coach should be saying?
and here's Nenny stepping through. Oh, but lost turnover ball, and here we are now. It's going to be a long run in, but Nacional Laba, and a disappointing end to the first half for the overseas Old Boys, and a second try. Well, let's take the first try for Nacional Laba. Great pace.
Well, he's not given up. He's made him work for that try, so they've worked well today on this first half, but need to get a few points.
So the tournament's second favourites, and they've trusted Facita once again, given that Laba ran so far. And that one doesn't really merit a comment, does it? So half-time, and
was it better than his other one?
the Dragons leading by 17 points to 0 against the overseas Old Boys. Not unexpectedly. I mean, the power of the Dragons were always going to be a difficulty for the overseas Old Boys.
Correct. Yeah. I think their direct play, which has been slightly different from what the other teams have been playing, is quite hard to take, as in the size and the direct line they're taking. So they're passing maybe one pass off a ruck and going straight and not stopping. That's the problem. So if you were the coach of the overseas Old Boys, how would you address the boys in their comeback?
Well, they're 3 tries down to arguably one of the strongest sides in the tournament. I think they've got to probably look to go wide as early as possible. The Asia Pacific Dragons have got power down the middle, and they've got plenty of gas out wide. But see Kenzo Pinel there. Again, there's a player who, if he gets around the bottom of rucks, and he could start creating stuff. And then Kenzo has been brought on, but all you could really say,
whether he's the contributing factor, it's a big ask for Kenzo, I guess. But
yeah,
and he did have a quite good game in this last game. So yes, it's a difficult one. How to step up on this next.
So there is Kenzo Pinel.
Part of the game.
Second half of that event. HKFC Old Boys looking to get back against.
And someone who's represented Hong Kong, Kenzo Pinel. And Nenny gets in, makes the tackle, competing in the rucks. There's Facita. Better kick this time, although it seems to have skewed off in a different direction from where he intended, I think. But that's landed perfectly, and we could have a fantastic score. A second try by Laba. An incredible kick. It didn't look as if he was aiming that direction.
It didn't. Unfortunately, with this polygrass type of surface, it does not slide along the floor like it would do in polygrass in the touch. It does tend to stand up. It's happened too many a time.
But looking at it again in replay, it does look, the way his leg cuts across it, that he was actually aiming to put it in that direction. Yeah. So let's give him some credit for that. That's a fabulous, probably it was a
great
60-yard kick.
Well, as I say, you're only as good as your chaser or the chase, and he chased that ball down, and he got the prize.
So Nacional Laba, and that is a conversion scored. And well, we've seen perhaps one of the tries of the tournament potentially.
That was one of that very good try. Yes, good vision if that was what was on the cards. But
there will always be doubters. And that kick didn't go so well either.
No.
But
so So it's back to the middle for the halfway for a free kick.
So I think at this stage, I think the overseas old boys, perhaps a try would be a
result.
scalp.
Yep, exactly.
A scalp. It would.
You've got to get as much as you can out of this game, and hopefully try and play a couple of phases of play that are going to do you well in the next rounds.
So there's Glendon Nenny, making a little burst, but a bit careless in possession. Falau stealing it, and Meacham pumping forward. Scrum half coming in there is Jonah Manny, and there's a chase on here. And Laba, I think, if Glendon Nenny's not quick here, and he does really well under pressure. Support there, charge down, it's going to go dead.
Probably the best press result you had, actually, wasn't it?
Well, Glendon Nenny looked rather casual there on as he was being chased down.
So where was the charge down? Was the charge down inside the try line or outside?
The charge down was inside.
It was inside, then the referee is right, it's a 5 metre. Because the ball was taken in by the...
Correct.
From the leg of the overseas old boys player. Be interesting to see where he did actually charge down. And in the rule...
He did kick it, because he kicked it from inside. But
that's my point. Where was the charge? And actually, when he jumped, was he in the play? Was he on the try line, over the try line, or in? I'm not sure about that rule, but
we'll only see that on YouTube tonight.
Too right.
They're off round the side. A little bit of movement there, and there's an opportunity, and a lovely little step and go there by Manu, and the ball knocked out of his hands there, and the referee an offside. And number 9 here is Taki Kakabao, sorry. Just come back on again. And then looks a flying wedge going in there. Taki Kakabao, short play, flat line, looks like a try from here. Referee not seen it. He's decided no try. It looked from this angle
it did
as
look
if
like the ball
he was over. But
looked like the ball did touch the line, but as I said, we haven't got the benefit of the TMO. And given the score, I think probably a justifiable outcome.
Substitution, and off for the overseas old boys is Adam Jones. And not entirely clear who he's replaced by. But Taki Kakabao to put in. And no doubt he will look to repeat his last move, which will be around this side, and a show and a dive, and it's a try, fairly comfortable one. Very difficult for Glendon Nenny to make a tackle in that position.
Very different, yeah. But as I say, the scrum half has the opportunity to go either way, because the opposition scrum half have to hang around the back to see which way, because there's obviously no flankers involved there. So.
And Nenny was tied because there was an overlap. He had to go wide, he had to stay out there as well.
Exactly.
So 29, and a conversion this time missed by Nacional Laba, but he's had quite an influence on this match. And there is the game player here, Vuka Takakakabao. Yoni Manu, Fijian, who has played with the New Zealand, or the Fiji under-20 side. Kick to depth, pinning the overseas old boys back inside the 22. And isolated there was Tom Cox. And the overseas old boys having a great difficulty to make some territory on that occasion. Tom Cox caught isolated, and the ball has gone forward. And the Asia Pacific Dragons, with a fairly sizable pack, will look to get quick ball here. They have some significant threat out wide. Eldon Schoenberg. It's gone out to Schoenberg, but it's a dummy runner, and it's gone out wide. Number 11, Cornel Hendricks. Has he got it down? He's claiming he has. Nobody seems decided about that. Held up. And so the South African, Cornel Hendricks, showed pace and power there, but not able to get that ball down. Again, it looked as if the ball had touched the chalk. 7 minutes gone in this second half. The final game in the pool, which is pool, if I recall correctly, this is Pool C. It is. And good solid scrum movements, and there's a Schoenberg dancing one way and right and left and over the top there, and that's been lost forward. Opportunity here, and the overseas All Boys managed to scramble that one clear. And Eldon Schoenberg, the South African, driving in and being pulled down very close to the line. So we have 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes left, and the overseas All Boys have yet to cross the Dragons line, and they've got quite a challenge here to prevent the Asia Pac Dragons crossing their line. Tom Kearsey is the fly half, and he will have to get this in and very sharply out. It's going backwards very quickly. Early engage and a free kick, and the overseas All Boys look to take some territory there, but that's been caught, and looks as if the ref's going to allow that to play, and it could work out here. It's a foot race. Cornel Hendricks has gone back. He's prepared to wait and see what happens, and it ends up getting picked up by Greg Foe, and out wide is Chutita Tubuku, the Fijian. There's Tagaka back out, kicking the territory, keeping the pressure back on the overseas All Boys. Again, looking to make a counter-attack. And, well, that looked as if the ball was out of the ruck. Referee being generous. Number 20 there is Oka Sanarivi, and 14 chasing that ball down vigorously. Cornel Hendricks picks it up, and a knock on by the overseas All Boys, and this match looks as if it's going to peter out. The overseas All Boys have put in a fairly decent shift, but the quality of the Asia Pacific Dragons and the power and some of the electrifying pace that we've seen both from Laba Laba and Tagi Kebao has made such a difference in this game.
I think you're right there, Russell. Yeah, it comes down to speed, size and skill sets, and these boys are just a little bit better in all those factors.
So Vuga Tagakabao to put in. Been fairly comfortable. Manu there, shipping it out wide. And here is Laba Laba. And he's got the step. A little flick out the back. It's been Masarewa's got it now. And it's all a little bit wild and loose. And there's a counter-attacking opportunity now for the overseas All Boys. Glendon Nenny, the Kiwi, looking for options. Not many available yet. It looks as if it's been stolen, but it's Glendon Nenny. Manages to get himself through a gap there. The runner is Dernham, and that's the type of thing that gets a yellow card. I don't think the referee saw that.
I was going to say, being consistent in today's game, that would have been a...
I think perhaps he's been called by the... no, he's just... No, he hasn't been helped by his touch judge there.
That was pretty clear and obvious. That was a charge. That was a knockdown, and
Hamish Patterson and Willie Umu the big number 7, and there is Umu. A lot of power there, matching up with some of the power that, and that's a good jackling position, and a penalty, the inevitable penalty. Greg Foe over the ball, and a steal, and they've taken territory very quickly. Knock on here again, and that didn't go very well for the old boys.
So there was a penalty for offside before the kick, and the chaser was chasing.
One more opportunity. Glendon Nenny doesn't seem to want to give the ball to anyone, does he?
Well, yeah, he paid the price, unfortunately, for that.
There we go. So, Hamish Patterson trying to barge up the middle.
Well spotted there, referee. There was a man blocking the...
And there's an opportunity for this try, perhaps. Number 9 there is...
And that will be a fair result for these
Mason
boys.
Walker. He's going to have to work hard here.
Themselves a try here.
So, and there we go, and fantastic.
And it's nice to see, actually.
Tom Kearsey scores a consolation try, and it was a nice try, and it was well worked. And no one could grudge the overseas old boys that little memento, and a fine piece of work. The Dragons perhaps a little worn and lots of gaps. But final score, the Asia Pacific Dragons 29 and the overseas old boys 7.